So today on Project Shop, we got our work cut out for us. So the shop's kind of getting overrun again. We got 2 piles of light, 2 different jobs. I actually got a automotive customer. Very rarely do I get automotive scrap. Now there was a bunch of prepared steel and sheet metal and stuff like this. Just, you know, basic automotive stuff. I did get an alternator, a couple compressors, and these heavy aluminum control arms. And I was wondering, like, what do you guys do with this stuff? Do you just sell that off as iron aluminum? Do you try to cut that aluminum free? I was thinking maybe I could press it out in the press, or just come down on it with the blade and shear the aluminum off. I don't know, but we're gonna have to step it up on our 100-ton press game there and get that thing moving. But it's hard when the shop just keeps getting full of scrap. And then what I got over here is really gonna make some of the internet cry. I got about 8 spools of brand new 400 MCM, probably 70 to 80 foot lengths, all wrapped up, plus some other brand new spools down in here. And some of this wire was actually brand new. I know everybody out there is going to be like, oh, you could sell that for more money. Yeah, this was probably about $7,000 worth of wire that someone ordered about 10 feet too short. Someone had to eat it big time there, because it ain't worth 7 grand. Anyway, we got some real nice stuff in here. Some more of this unistrut stuff, or whatever this stuff is called. I'm really stoked. I'm probably more stoked about this than anything else in this whole pile. And I did take a little bit of steel. There's some bars in there. I think those are aluminum, but there were some other goodies in there. But what I was really after is this. Some big nuggets of copper in there. That's a pretty cool little setup right there. I think it's an automatic transfer switch or something. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to do a little extra work here because I need to load all this stuff on this trailer. But to do that, I gotta offload the trailer. But I really don't wanna clutter up all this space. So before I offload that, I wanna try to condense this stuff down and make some space. Okay, I gotta tighten up. It's almost 9 o'clock at night, and I haven't gotten anything done.
Don't know if I'll make it back home. I'm just stuck here in a dream. At the bottom of the ocean, I'm at the bottom of the sea.
Okay, we got all that cleaned up. We got the trailer back in here. Now we can kind of give a better idea of what we got going on here. And what we got going on here is a ton of spools of brand new 400 MCM, 70 foot runs. They were 10 foot short, so they had to reorder all that wire. They said that this was about 7 grand in wire, but it's only about 900 or so pounds or something. I forget what it was. Then we got a couple nuggets over here, and then that stuff all the way on the bottom is aluminum. Those are pretty much clean. That's got some nuggets of copper. That's got some aluminum and copper. And then we got some of this stuff. What's the deal with the blue boards? Are they worth anything? Looks like there might be some gold in there somewhere. A couple blue boards on there. Now, I think there's a couple boards over there, but getting real late and we might be done for the night. I'm gonna take a break and see what my back says. Okay, we're back at it. It's actually the next day. I went in there and took a break, and then I had a discussion with my back, and my back decided it was time to call it and come back the next day. So here we are, actually way later in the next day. So I went ahead and unloaded all that stuff, and we got some good stuff in here, man. A lot of aluminum. I'm gonna get a couple transformers and some wire out of this one, and then there's some big old bus bar back in here. This is like an automatic transfer switch. That was the panel for it, I guess. And then I offloaded all that copper. Now I know someone's going to be really crying somewhere because this is not only new wire, this is still on the spool and shrink wrap. And a lot of this is actually new. They pulled it off the spool, and I guess when they were loading this stuff, some of it got damaged by a forklift or something. So some of this was brand new off the spool as well. But you know how it goes around here with copper. It don't last long around here. Okay, that's some dust. This stuff been sitting around for a long time, and they just tired of looking at it, tired of it sitting on the shelf. So that's how it ends up over here by the Copper King. Now, if someone wants to buy it, here's your opportunity. Shoot me a price. We'll have a little auction. On one hand, we got the internet that says I can sell it for more money. On the other hand, we got the copper. Okay, ready? Highest bidder wins. What you got? Nothing, 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 nothing. Sold to the Copper King. You know, that guy's always the highest bidder. But anyway, check this out. So there's two modifications I've been wanting to do to this setup for a long time, and I've just been too busy and really haven't had any spools. Well, the one doesn't require the spools. It's going to be a permanent fixture, but one, I wanted to make something that'll slide into these two pockets here, and it just, you know, 2 bars so it's stable, kind of like a, maybe come 1 bar there, attached to a bar this way that comes out with a rod right here or up here. I don't know. Another mod I wanted to do was, I've always wanted to put a roller right here. Now the way I want to do it, it's going to be on a bearing. I don't have any of that right now, but what I do have is a whole bunch of this like unistrut angle stuff. I got piles of it over there, and then I just got a ton more over there. So this is what I'm thinking. We're going to take some of this and cut it, and we're going to bolt it right on here, probably like this. I'm not sure yet, but we got options. Anyway, I could put a real quick pin in here with a roller. Now I don't have something with a ball bearing, so what I'm going to basically do is just get a rod or all thread or something to fit in here, and then I'm just going to take a piece of pipe and just slide it over it, and it'll just kind of roll. Okay, because even though we came in here and ground these down, I still have issues with copper digging into this edge right here. Now that can be solved in a bunch of different ways. Basically making these funnels, making them a little thicker and having you know, more of a funnel type situation going. Also, the whole way this is set up is, in my opinion, not right. These should be centered, so this little hole should actually be up here, and this should be made different, but we'll get into that in a later video. So one of my customers is a big contractor that builds like $50 million homes on the beaches here in West Palm, and some of the scrap I get from this guy is just mind-boggling. He's actually got a huge house demo coming up here, and he's going to let me walk the house before they actually do the demo. I'm probably going to pull out all the wire and anything else that's worth anything. I'll see if I can't get a video of it, because some of these houses are absolutely incredible on the inside. When I was in demolition and did concrete cutting, one time I worked at the house John Lennon and Yoko Ono used to live in, and the stuff they had me cutting up and demolishing was insane. It was so, what looked to me so expensive and intricate, and just, you knew someone spent a shitload of money on it, and I was there just tearing it up. These people don't care, they just want their own thing. Anyway, what we got today is a full-blown, and this is only part of it. He was keeping the other part. This is like high-end workout equipment from like a whole house gym, okay? Then we got some garage door track, but down there, we got a ton of brass trim and aluminum trim that I can just imagine how much they spent to have that stuff installed, okay? Nice stainless ice maker. This thing probably works, just like that other one. Now, get this. So I wanted that thing that I could slide in and run spools. Well, I'm not sure, but I think some of this square, the silver square, might be the diameter that'll slide in that thing, and it's pre-holed. And look at this. This is heavy for one. Oh, and I also got some AC scrap from the guy, and a really cool brass light fixture I might keep. But anyway, look at this. This right here is perfect. Somehow I need to mount this. Shit, looks like it threads in there or does something. Okay, it's locked in there. This is the rod I need to slide the spools on. Or at least this is the rod I'm gonna use. But as soon as I seen this, one, again, I asked him, hey, do you want to sell it? He didn't want to be bothered with trying to sell this and deal with people. I completely understand. I'm in the same situation with that generator over there. I get so many requests and calls and blah, 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 and then nobody wants to show up and buy it, and everybody wants it for free. So we're gonna send that right to the scrapyard. But check this out. I'm gonna recover so much hardware and good stuff off this. Nice chrome bearing blocks. Somewhere around here, there's a couple more of them. And then these pieces of, like this stock here, you know, with the stuff already in it, these things here, I'll recover that. I might recover the pulleys, the chrome rod with the sliders. These long beams here, I'll probably cut it right here. I might cut this section out here and keep that. That's actually, this part here and these rods is kind of something I need for my stator wrecker, to keep the part that holds the blade from wiggling and moving, and it can only go straight up and down. That's what the big real deal stator wreckers have. Wow, it's a shame. This thing here, who knows how much this thing costs new. I ain't got space for it, and I don't want to deal with people. I'd rather cut it up and use the parts. I can recover this beam here. That's a nice piece of 2x2. And this is heavy stuff, man. This ain't no lightweight stuff. This has got like a heavy duty hinge. I mean, look at that thing up there. I wonder, like, I look at all this and I'm like, man, how can this be repurposed? This chrome rod here might be what I need to slide up in that deal there. We'll figure something out with it. But for now, I'm gonna get back out there and get that roller on the machine, and then see about working on getting the pin for the spools. Okay, after scrounging around, I found this stainless threaded rod, which is basically, it actually was the arms. This is from the light fixture I took apart. This would basically be that bolt right there. Sometimes they use all thread. Sometimes they use these really nice, you know, threaded ended rods. So basically this is what we're gonna do. We got this here. I just recovered that off of that piece over there. Now this is the same as this other stuff, except for it's got two holes on that side. It's just a little bit wider, which is perfect because it'll just hold it where I want it out here. But basically I'm gonna put this in here. See if I can push that in there. Push that in there. I'm gonna cut a piece of this nice chrome pipe. Put that in there. Bam. And then what we'll do is we'll just bring this up to where that chrome pipe is sitting perfectly level. Eventually I'm gonna want something with like a ball bearing, because I can already tell this thing's probably gonna rattle like crazy. And I'm not gonna lubricate it or nothing. I'm just gonna have it metal on metal in there. Even if it doesn't slide, this round, nice chrome curve here will be better than that sharp edge. Because even pushing my finger in there, I could feel that digging. Like even though we ground that down, it, for some reason, sharpens that back up. So I think this is gonna help that out a lot, especially if I build something here where I'm pulling wire from down here up into it, over this roller. Although I could do something like this, use one of those things. Oh, maybe that's what I'll do. That exercise machine has the things you can pull to adjust things. Maybe I'll put like that adjuster out here so I can bring the spool up and down. We're gonna have to get that equipment off that trailer and see what we need, because as soon as I'm done this, we're gonna get right on that, and then we're gonna get right on these spools right here. Okay, here's where we're at. I'm gonna run them both in the same direction. I'm gonna run this one angled just like that, so it brings this in and clears my handle. And then this one here, I'm gonna run to the outside to gain the space. I mean, it really doesn't matter because this rod is so long. So it'll be like that. And we'll just put washers over there and we'll be good to go. But I wanna utilize this hole right here, okay? Because this rod, I'm gonna double nut it. This rod could actually spin. And then that chrome rod will actually spin. I like that. That's nice. Maybe I can get that to clean up a little bit. Oh yeah, man, it's sliding across that like glass. When I find something with a bearing, I'll build a proper bracket system, but this is gonna be the quickest and easiest. I actually like the fact that it's down like that because I can bring the copper in. I don't have to like, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, this is where we're at. I turned these the other way and I did a couple things. One, it brought this closer and it kind of maybe 25% gave me a guard. You know, when I put this thing in neutral, I'm not just gonna send, it might stop me a little bit from sending my hand up into there. But get this, now I have the option of screwing some plexiglass to the back of this and have a proper plate here, you know, for safety and stuff. But over here, I'm gonna notch this here. I'm not gonna notch for that gap because if I notch for that screw to come through, it would actually protrude through this distance because that head is thicker than the thickness of this thing, and this would rub it. It's already rubbing right there, and when you push straight in, it kind of wants to climb up. I think this is gonna work good for like lining it up. Now it's not just floating out here. I can rest it on here and feed it in. I think it's gonna speed my process up. And the little wire seems like it's gonna go right in. Same thing, I could put the wire on here. It's gonna stabilize it a little bit and I can feed it in. So this is a huge improvement. What I wanna put on here is gonna be similar to this, but it's gonna be more adjustable with like a knob. It's gonna be pretty slick. But for now, I think we just did a bunch of upgrades all at once. So I'm gonna pull this off one more time. I'm gonna cut this, round these corners off. Then we're gonna tighten it up right as it is. I'll tighten this gap a little. I'm gonna leave a little space, but basically if I wanna use this one, we don't want this thing coming off there. So I'll slide this over just a little bit more like that. And yeah, I'm super stoked about this. This is something that I've been wanting for a long time. Oh, and I did kind of clean this up a little bit. It's got some sticky glue type stuff, but I think that'll come right off of there. But this is already looking awesome. Okay, so this is pretty much where we're at. I'm only gonna do one more thing. You can see back there where the paint is getting torn off. I'm gonna cut that down and notch that out, but still try to leave enough to where it's gonna push off of that nut, or I'm gonna have to put a spacer in there to keep it out. But this side feels so nice, but this side, it's climbing, and it's just gonna, I need to fix that. Okay, there you have it. Now, in the future, I can make a different bracket that's gonna eliminate all this and just look a lot nicer. Now over here, when I cut that, I kind of got a little aggressive, but I had to because as you can see how far that was protruding out, it was climbing up, but now that's free to swing. It'll roll, this will spin. I used 2 spacers from another scrap job, so this literally cost me nothing. But now the only thing we got left to do is test it out. Oh, I knew it was going to make that noise. Yeah, we're gonna have to get something with a bearing. I'm okay with that because if I hear that noise, that means there's no pressure on that. That means we ain't making money. Okay, here's a little bit longer piece to kind of demonstrate this thing being drug up from the floor. tell you what, even though it didn't roll, that wire just glided right up on there. So definitely we're gonna need something with a bearing, but what I did here is already a huge improvement. Well, it's working good. Now we can get a good idea, and you can see it's not even touching the bottom now. Even though this is a little bit lower, this is perfect. And look at that, if it was coming up like that, so we're gonna put that spool right about here and feed that thing right in there. Now this is why I love this clutch, because you can start this up and it's not putting any stress or pulling heavy amps on that motor. We're gonna have to keep that thing clean somehow. And then you can just neutral drop it. Start sending copper. All right, so I'm gonna take a break, get something to drink. It's dark outside, but I'm gonna offload that fitness equipment into the shop bay here so I can see what I got, and then we're gonna see about making a spool holder. Okay, so check this out. This stuff was probably really expensive. That right there was really heavy. This looks like the real deal stuff, like something you'd see in the like at the gym. So this stuff here is probably worth a lot of money, and this was only part of it. There was this whole big other section that he was keeping, but he didn't want this, so he gave it to me. But here's what I'm thinking. This here unbolts really easy. I can unbolt this, use that bracket there that comes out. That'll bring the spool out away from the table. This pipe, which has these holes in it, so I can have adjustable height. I found this other piece over here that'll slide on there. Right now, I take this cushion off and bore a hole, maybe even 4 holes, slide this through it, okay, and then there you have it. Or somehow utilize this right here, which already has the thing, but somehow I would have to fabricate this, probably by welding, or I'm not sure, to one of the things like this. So I think I'm going to go this route, because I don't think all spools have a thing that big. So with this, I can put the thing in there and then maybe even add a smaller one somewhere. I don't know, but we're going to get this up over there on the table and see how that's going to work out first. Okay, that came apart super easy, but check this out. So what I was thinking is mounting this up against these two things, you know, having it like slide in or do something. I'm not sure how we're going to do that, but I want to run this thing real quick, see how it's going to do. I got a great idea. I'm just going to clamp that to that, and I'm going to do it from the back side so I can clamp this way and down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run this pipe and just let it sit on the floor like that, and turn this maybe back this way. This is going to support all the weight. That's just going to hold it in position, and then I'm going to have to worry about attaching this to here. So I'm still up in the air how I'm going to attach it. I might just hole saw through there, slide it in, put a pin, or, you know, fix it to it somehow. And then out here, I'm going to just make a leg or something. I guess it would almost have to be an adjustable leg, because I don't know if this arm here is going to carry the weight. I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to get that clamped up here and, you know, see what happens. Okay, here we go. We're starting to come together now. I got that clamped to these 2x4 steel beams coming out of the table, and then I got them clamped to the tabs that are welded to it. I bounced my 260-pound self up on it. It held. So now we're just going to drop that back in there. Okay, now since we're running the big wire, I moved it over. I'm probably gonna have to move it over even more once we get a spool on there, or even mount that up on the other side. But for now, this is awesome. I still got adjustable height here. I could bring that up. I mean, that'd go up like that. I mean, that's probably where we should be, right? Put them up there, or I guess it don't matter. I'm gonna put them right there. Let it sit on the ground. All right, so I'm gonna pop these off, see what it's gonna take, and then I'm probably gonna drill this one out. I'll put the hole saw over there, whatever size that is, send it through, and then I am going to make some type of leg for this side over here, because I don't know if this steel, if it won't bend with 100 pound spool on there, but we're going to sure find out. Okay, this might get loud. Okay, here we go. This thing is coming together great. The only modification I really had to do was bore that hole. That slid right in there. Now, I am going to put a hose clamp on here for now. Tighten this up just so this doesn't spin. I am going to be putting pins here and one on this side just to keep this, you know, from walking over. Now, here's the deal. This really isn't strong enough to hold the weight. So I'm using my jack stand. It is crooked, so here's what I'm gonna do. And so I don't have to pick these up as high, I'm going to take this off. For one, I'm gonna slide this over as far as possible. If not, move that thing all the way over to the other side. And then I'm actually gonna flip this rod down so that I can have these holes and put this on the bottom there, and that'll level me out with my jack stand right there. Okay, here we go. This was actually pretty simple. The only modification I had to do was drill that hole. And here we are. We're about to start sending these spools through the machine. Now I'm going to run these full length and probably just come back with the jaw after the fact, make a couple cuts and drag it right onto the trailer and let them pick it up with a strap. But for now, we're going to send our first spool through and see how this thing actually works. Now I put this 100-pound spool on here and it did hold without that, but it's not strong enough to actually, like, I wouldn't run it without support out there. So this thing is pretty much supporting its own weight. That's there just kind of holding that thing in position. So this thing worked out great. A couple clamps, a hole, and a hose clamp, and now we got an awesome unspooler for our machine here. And if y'all seen OGs of the channel know that I have a donut maker or unspooler, which is actually up there. The automatic donut maker is still bolted together. But I could slide that on here and unspool big giant, like, see this? I could put that spool on that thing and unspool that right through the machine in one shot. But for now, we're gonna strip all this brand new copper and test out our new modification there. And this new, I'm gonna call it an extension apparatus thing. Okay, here we go. This thing here has a tag on it, 81 feet, okay? Now, someone's really gonna be trying somewhere. The reason I'm stripping this big stuff before the little stuff, the machine's already dialed in for it. And yeah, so we're just gonna start it up and send it. Inspect the wire real quick. Make sure we're not cutting into it, making needles. Looking good. Do a neutral drop. Oh yeah. Oh, we're sending it, man. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, man. Oh, we knocked our little thing off the table, but I ain't worried about that. I'll come in here with a jaw, make a bunch of little cuts, and we'll drag this stuff right out of here. So I think I'm gonna end it here for this video. I think everything I did tonight absolutely killed it. This thing here worked pretty good. I was so focused on this thing unspooling and not getting stuck. I really wasn't paying attention to what this was doing, but we didn't have anything snagging or catching, so obviously it worked. Stay tuned, because we're gonna run all of this wire right here. I'm just gonna keep running it, see how fast I can strip all of this, and then come back with that jaw, cut it up, throw it on a trailer, and turn it over. Maybe go find some more. So if you come this far, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We're about to have a huge copper party. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before?
Are you ready?
All right, I'm hitting the button.
Go for it. Hey man, what's rubbing up here? That ain't cool at all.
Oh, we got a beep. like the grease got on them blades.
Which one?